Hey everybody, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Do me a favor before we get started. I need you to hit that like button if you're not a subscriber. I need you to do a favor, hit that subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss episode. So today we're going to talk about what is going on with credit scores and the housing market, what changes are taking place. So number one, Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae is ending their 620 credit score minimum. So there will be no minimum credit scores for Fannie Mae. So they're going to look at other things besides the credit score. And they're going to be looking at do you make regular payments on things like rent, things like utility, things like that to qualify. So rent, utilities, phone payments, things like that. So what will that do? That will possibly give more people access to homes. So this is Fannie Mae in particular, ending the 620 credit score requirement, no minimum credit scores. Now, there is a program in effect already for this is for first-time home buyers, and it's also for people who have not owned a home in 3 years. And that program is called NACA, and they don't care what your credit score is. They're going to help you get into a home. It's the legitimate program. It is called NACA. However, this is something new that Fannie Mae is doing. Fannie Mae is removing that 620 credit score requirement. So that may possibly give more people access to buying a home. All right. That is for people who are using Fannie Mae in particular. Number two, the idea of portable mortgages is being thrown around. This is under the Trump administration. So, portable mortgages meaning if you already have an existing mortgage, you can take that current interest rate and use that current interest rate for your next home. So, say for example, you bought your home a long time ago when rates were 2%, and you have a 2% interest rate on your home. You could take that, go back to the lender. The lender would requalify you, and then you would get a loan for that 2% that you have and apply that to the next home. So that idea of portable mortgages is being thrown around, applying existing mortgages to your new home. So this would be advantageous to people that already own homes. Also, it would help sellers to sell their home. However, it would be a disadvantage for people who are maybe first-time home buyers or people who are just getting back into the market because they don't have that advantage of getting a loan with a smaller interest rate. They would pay the regular market rate, which is well above the 2%. So this would benefit existing homeowners. However, it would be a disadvantage to people who are first-time home buyers, for example. Or like I said before, people who have not owned a home in a while but are getting back into the market. So this one has not passed yet. So we will see if it passes or not. That is the portable mortgages. All right. And then lastly, we have, in terms of credit score, the possibility of making the credit score worse. Why? There is an overruling of state laws on medical debt reporting, saying that it would be only the federal government that would be in charge of that, not the states, to regulate how medical debt is reported to credit bureaus. All right. Also, there's a rollback of the Biden rule. The Biden rule, it removed medical debt from credit reports. So this removed $49 billion in medical debt from 15 million people. However, there was a Trump-approved judge who stated that the CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, overstepped their bounds. So in the event that this rule is reversed, medical debt would be allowed to go back onto the credit reports, lowering the credit scores of millions of people. All right. So as of yet, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is currently being gutted. What that would mean is less oversight. It would allow for more aggressive debt collection, in particular medical debt, and more reporting of medical debt on the credit reports, which would cause credit reports to go down. All right. So, why is credit scores important and how could this possibly affect you or anyone you know? Well, as you know, the higher the credit score, the better. In terms of if your credit score is higher, you're going to be paying less money on the down payment for the house, and you're going to be paying less money for closing costs. So they charge you more money if your credit score is lower. So the lower the credit score, the more money you have to pay for down payment and closing costs when you go look for a mortgage. So that's one reason why credit scores are important, is that you are putting money back into your pocket, knowing that you're being charged more just because your credit score is lower. So a good credit score is also important in terms of a car loan. So the worse your credit score is, the more money they are charging you for the car loan. And this is technically something that you can't see. It's just interwoven into those payments. You're paying a higher interest rate because you have a lower credit score. Also, when it comes to renting apartments, some people look at credit scores and you can actually get denied for an apartment based on the credit score. As far as looking for a job, you don't find this too often, but some jobs are looking at your credit score. All right. So those are currently the changes that are happening. Just to recap, Fannie Mae is ending their credit score rule. So you no longer need a 620 credit score. They're looking at other factors such as rent payments, utility payments, phone payments. So for Fannie Mae, no more credit score. You don't need a 620 anymore. Portable mortgages, that is not currently in effect yet, but that's something that they're looking at. And that would benefit people that already have homes that have low interest rates. So there are people out here that have 2% interest rates, 3% interest rates, because they bought the house a long time ago. 10 years ago, for example, where interest rates were 2%, and then they could take that 2% and apply it to the next house. So that has not passed yet. We will see if that goes anywhere. And then lastly, they are working on putting medical debt back onto your credit report. All right. Also, gutting the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is essentially the watchdog. So, working on gutting the watchdog. All right. So, those are the current changes that are happening with the credit score and the housing market. All right. So do me a favor, if you like the channel, I need you to hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, I need you to do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss an episode. If you are interested in improving your finances, check out the description below and join the free newsletter. Also, tune into the channel. I will be interviewing people. I interview real estate investors, I interview business owners, and I interview entrepreneurs. So tune in for business ideas if you are still contemplating on what kind of business you would be interested in getting into. Tune in for that, for business ideas. And if you are already in business, tune in to the show. And then you could check me out below. if you are interested in coming on the show. All right. Thank you for watching, everyone. I will see you on the next video.